Hi, everyone. Rebecca's first. Thanks for coming, Rebecca. What classes did you or are you going to have today? I had one at Budbee. It was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and we have to do it an hour earlier at Budbee because they're all in South Korea. So if the customer's time doesn't change. And I have three classes at Outschool today and one new tutoring, which I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. I'll go ahead and start with reading the updates. There's been 2 updates since I went live last time. One was like right after I went live last week, one came up. And I'm not sure which one I'm sharing first. And one that just came out, I think yesterday or the day before. All right, teaching about Indigenous peoples. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, we want to remind you all that classes on Outschool should address multiple perspectives on class topics. And they have a content policy, and it should include Native viewpoints. Outschool educator and Native historians expert Kelly Tudor hosted a webinar last year. All right, I think I'm going to read a little more about that. Book club policy announcement. To make it easier for educators who facilitate book classes, we will now be allowing rotating topics within multi-day and one-time classes formats for book clubs only, meaning educators may now teach different books across sections with the same class listing. As a reminder of our changing policy, you need to resubmit listing for review and approval. I've never really done that. When I do book clubs, I stick with like one theme, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid stays Diary of a Wimpy Kid or Dog Man. So I guess this would be like you finish one book, like let's say Dog Man, and then you move on to something totally different by a different author. Or I've seen book clubs where people allow the kids to pick or read all different books. Yeah, it's not really the way I do book clubs, but if you do, you need to resubmit it for listing. A few things to keep in mind. Classes must describe all possible books that will be covered and should imply that the listing will change. The listing should be clear of exactly when each book will be covered in class. You should include dates or months. So I find personally what I've seen on the Facebook pages and what people have said, and I think you've said this too, Rebecca, is that if you don't have dates listed for the ongoing classes, a lot of times parents just skip on by you anyway. So it's not just Outschool's policy. You could be losing customers if you don't have dates listed. Ongoing format. Have you ever wondered why we ask for 4+ weeks of dates and topics? Families want to know what their learner will be doing in class each week. And let me say to all of you, don't forget to occasionally update it. Our team often receives complaints if information isn't included in the class listing. And the last thing an educator wants is an upset customer. Outschool, and you don't really want that. Communication with family. As you know, it's very important part of your business on Outschool to make sure you're providing excellent customer service. We suggest responding to messages from learners or parents within 1 to 3 business days. If you haven't been receiving message notifications in your inbox, take a look at your email notification settings. I try to respond as quickly as I can. I mean, all day long, I'm just checking my email. Worst case scenario, like I have a really busy day, it'll be like 24 hours. Even 12 hours would be a long time. But I really try to get back to parents as soon as possible. Those are your customers. Or if someone's asking about a class they want to sign up for, you could potentially be losing a customer if you don't get back right away. Because a lot of times the last questions of like 3 of the same class, and whoever gets back to them first, that's who they sign up for. Refresher on transferring learners. Before you transfer a learner to another section or class, you must receive consent from enrolled learner, parent, or guardian, or risk violating our enrollment management. Yeah, I can't imagine moving someone without asking them. I guess the only exception I would think of to this is like sometimes you set a new section at a new day and time just so it looks like a new class. I usually do this like when fall's starting or spring starting. It's the same time and day. So I feel like there's not much, it's already the class that they're in. But if I'm taking a long break, like when I transfer them from the spring to the summer section, I do say, if you don't want to continue in the spring, unenroll before Sunday. I send them a reminder Saturday before Sunday starts as well. So I do like let them know if they want that option. Zoom features that support inclusion. Did you know one of the many Zoom features available to educators is live captioning? I'm glad they added this, because before Outschool added this, I had a parent request this because her daughter was hard of hearing and I couldn't do that for her. So I'm glad they added this. Some learners may find this feature helpful while in class. Others believe in creating a safe, welcoming, inclusive space for all. Classroom safety reminder: if you have a learner who appears to be older than 18 or much older than the age listed in their profile, you should kindly relay our policies to the learner and parent and remove the learner from the classroom. All right, I have never had a problem with that. Let me know if any of you have. All right, so that, oh wow, lots of comments. All right, let me read through them before I go on to the next email. I think I answered this one before. I think I already answered this one, but it's not really going to change my book clubs. Do you list the books so the parents can buy them? Yes. I mean, it's on the, I have it on the description of the class. I have it in the welcome letter. I periodically will just post it on the classroom page. Pretty much for the most part, I go in order. The only exception is I have a history book club and there is no order. Like that one contains so many books. So that one's really, really important that they know the book order. Also, I've had issues with people not knowing that was a book club. It's usually if they sign up on like, they find it through Facebook on one of the discount sites. If they're finding it through Outschool, usually they've researched and read, but like I think they think it's just a history class. So I've had people just unenroll, or I've been like, oh, what'd you think of the book? And they're like, what book? So what I've started to do now is after class, say like, if you want a class where you don't have to read a book ahead of time, here's this one. It's so easy to forget to update an ongoing class. Important to see through the parents' eyes every once in a while to get new learners. Yes, I have mine updated all the way through December, and I really need to update through January. Transfer. What if you want to close down a section and say, if you don't respond, I will transfer you? Yeah, I don't know. Or you could just, another thing you could do is just like wait till the class comes, and if the student shows up, like if it's ongoing, say, okay, since you're the only one in class, like say something verbally to the kid is what you could try as well. That's hard if parents don't respond. Tell them so many times, please check the classroom, check your email settings on the classroom and, you know, the conversations, check your email. All right, so there was another one, which came out last week, right before, or right after I went live. Okay. All right. So Rebecca, are you doing ACE? Meet Our First ACE Educators, which is like a continuing education type thing. If you haven't heard of it and you're watching. So you get like a framework around your profile picture to say you've done it. And they have a blog from 7 educators. I'm not doing it by default. I've just been so busy that I haven't had time. So if I had time, I may have done it already, but yeah. So if you still have questions about ACE framework here, oh, there's something on November 18th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. That would be 3 p.m. in my time zone. What's new in the hub? So these are like things that, you know, caught people's eyes in the hub. And I decided to click on one of them. I'll show you that in a minute. The Trevor Project, being an ally. I saw that this went on the other day, but I really didn't get to do anything. Our November community meeting is November 15th. Upcoming event, the G word. Heads up, we've got a special event. Guest speaker, Mark. I'm not going to try the last name. Okay, and all right, so I'll show you that one, the hub that, hold on, the one thing in the hub. I still need to do ACE. Yeah, I mean, my father got sick. Although I just have a million things to do. I saw one person give an opinion. Somebody in the Outschool Hub said, like, what do you think? Do you think this is going to help me? And one person made a good point. She said, I'm a homeschooler, and I know from talking to other homeschool parents that they kind of rebel against the whole public school system thing. That's why they're not going to public school. So they actually, it might deter them because they don't want anything to do with like letters after the name or education. So I don't know if it'll help or hurt. It probably depends on the person. If you have time to do it, I guess it couldn't hurt, unless in this situation, this person suggested it might actually hurt with the homeschool crowd who don't want that kind of thing. So you never know. Everybody has different opinions. I couldn't decide whether I was going to do it or not, and I just don't have time. So I guess that is my decision for now. I mean, I'm not saying I'll never do it, just I don't have time right now. All right, so this was what was talked about in the hub. Angela Agranoff, I've been teaching on Outschool for 2 years, reading a number of posts. So she's sharing like what helped her. Because I'm a business owner and a contract worker, I am responsible for making business decisions like all other businesses. The 30% fee in my mind covers platform, communication with parents, helps to resolve issues, continued education on the platform, and more. And I know I get some learners from the marketplace, but I see a difference when I market independently. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think you should be marketing independently? So this is what she does to market independently. Social media, word of mouth, videos, blogging, Facebook groups, plus having a clear mindset and working on it continually, not being in negative thoughts or blaming others. I'm not sure which one of these works best in my marketing efforts, but I feel it's my responsibility to share with others how I can help their kids with my classes and content. With my mindset, I'm choosing to believe learners need my classes no matter the economic atmosphere. There's always enough for learners. No one teaches my topics as I do. And she says, I hope this can at least help one person. And because Outschool is a business, they can choose to do what they want. Every business has its ups and downs. So I don't know what you think of that advice. I think that's true. I have to say my most popular class is civics, and I haven't gotten a lot of new signups with the exception of this week. I've actually gotten quite a few this week, I think, because it was election week. But I'm keeping the learners that I have for the most part. I have some unenroll, like after I start repeating the material. Like I had one who was in my class a really long time, but he started in the spring and I'm repeating some of the material from the spring now. But I keep the students I have, and all of them have at least 4 students in them, 4 to 7. And I have 2 of them that are completely full with 7. I already have signups for January. So my history book club's doing okay. Diary Wimpy Kids doing okay. I have 1 section that's almost full. I don't know if I really want to open another section because I'd rather open the more popular classes. I think as more teachers get ACE, more parents might look for it. Right. I wonder if they know what it is. So you have this thing around you. Like, Rebecca, you tell me, because you get a lot of emails on the parent side. Have you gotten any emails explaining what it is? Because if parents have no idea what that is, I don't know if it's really going to help the booking. So I hope they do something where they're explaining how and why the teachers got this, and then maybe that would help our bookings. Okay, anything else? Okay, so I got a new tutoring client, which I start at 11. Outschool's been pushing tutoring, and for me, tutoring hasn't really... I have a couple tutoring clients here and there at Outschool, but it hasn't really been like my bread and butter, like some people say it is. I find the group classes to be more profitable, but I did have a parent on Facebook asking for tutoring, and specifically, I think people have a budget and they're like, I can pay this price, and that's all they can pay. If you're on a budget, it doesn't matter. The teacher might be worth whatever they're worth, of course, but you can't afford that. You can't afford that. So she's like, I need a tutor for $15. So I was like, okay, I can do 20 minutes for $15. And she said, yes. I also said, I can only do it in the morning because my group class is booked in the afternoon. I thought I'll take her on when I have nothing else, when I don't have other classes. I'm not taking away from my group classes because they don't really book in the mornings. She said, okay to that. So, you know, you could always pick up clients like that here and there by just meeting a need. I met a need for the price, but it was still fair for me because the timing was worth that price. I do it at a time when I'm not booking my group classes. And it's just, I consider all my tutoring clients like extra money. So I get a little extra for it. With so many emails, I get confused which ones are for parents versus teachers, but I can't remember seeing what makes ACE teachers better or why as a parent. Yeah, I don't think they've told them. So if they start seeing this ACE thing on our profile and they have no idea what it means, then it might not help bookings. I mean, if you have the time to do it, it doesn't hurt. So, hey, you may as well, unless, like I was saying, the one person was talking about rebelling against, teacher type stuff. But for the most part, it probably wouldn't hurt. I just don't have time. And if I am going to do something extra, I've got to make the time. So, I mean, just right now, especially knowing parents don't even know what it is, and I really don't have time, I'm not going to do it right now. I am open to doing it in the future. So yeah, that was how I picked up an extra client. I've got to go teach her in a few minutes, and got to go teach my civics class. I told my students last week, by the time I see you this week, we're going to know who took over the House and the Senate. We still have no idea. So I'm going to have to go to class and say, I lied. We have no idea. So yeah, thanks for all of you who came, and thanks for all of you who watched later. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Zai Jian for Casey. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Rebecca, for coming.